Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Trump threatens federal intervention as anti-ICE protests sweep across Los Angeles, deploys 2,000 National Guard troops. Federal agents arrest at least 44 migrants for immigration violations in first round. Donald Trump-Elon Musk relationship is over. Trump warns of serious consequences if he funds Democrats. Musk publicly criticizes president's tax and spending bill. Colombia's opposition presidential contender Miguel Uribe fights for his life after being shot in Bogota. Suspect arrested. Colombia's presidency categorically and forcefully rejects violent attack. US condemns attempted assassination. In tennis, Coco Gauff becomes first American since 2015 to lift the French Open title. In men's singles category, Super Showdown awaits as Alcaraz all set to face Yannick Sinner. A very good afternoon to all the viewers joining us at this afternoon broadcast. To begin with the latest from the USA. Federal agents clashed with protesters in Paramount, California for a second day on Saturday, deploying flashbang grenades and tear gas to disperse crowds opposing immigration raids. The confrontations centered near a home depot used as a staging area by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, saw protesters block the streets with cement blocks and shopping carts, some waving Mexican flags and burning the US flag. The raids, part of President Donald Trump's aggressive immigration crackdown, targeted undocumented migrants, with nearly 120 arrests reported over 2 days. Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, vowed to deploy the National Guard, claiming the operation enhancing safety. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass condemned the raids as sowing terror in communities. Aerial footage showed a car burning during anti-ICE protests in Compton, California on Saturday. A helicopter delivered resources to federal agents nearby, while firefighters were seen extinguishing the fire with protesters still protesting. Hundreds of protesters gathered outside the Metropolitan Detention Center as well in downtown Los Angeles on Saturday, condemning the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement raids that detained at least 44 people across the city. Demonstrators chanting "Free them all" clashed with federal agents and the police, who used tear gas, flashbang grenades and less than lethal munitions to disperse the crowds. Protests escalated after raids targeted businesses like Ambience Apparel and a home depot, prompting accusation of terror from Mayor Karen. Amidst the immigration clashes, US President Donald Trump has vowed federal intervention to curb escalating protests against immigration raids in Los Angeles, slamming California governor and mayor for failing to manage the unrest. In a Truth Social post, Trump called the protests as riots and looters and signaled robust action. Governor Newsom condemned the deployment as inflammatory, warning it would erode trust, while Los Angeles officials criticized the raids for sowing fear in city's diversified communities. In the latest, US President Donald Trump has ordered the deployment of 2,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles to address escalating protests against Immigration and Customs Enforcement raids, as announced by White House Press Secretary. A public rift between US President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk has intensified, with Trump declaring their relationship over in an NBC interview. The feud erupted after Musk denounced Trump's $2.4 trillion tax and spending bill as a disgusting abomination, complicating its passage in the Congress. Trump warned of serious consequences if Musk funds Democrats opposing the bill, but declined to specify the actions or confirm investigations into Musk. Despite their fallout, Trump said he has no plans to cancel government contracts with Musk's SpaceX or Starlink. Elon Musk, who spent nearly $300 million supporting Trump's campaign, deleted critical social media posts, including one backing Trump's impeachment. The bill, which passed the House, faces Senate scrutiny. Trump remains confident it will pass by the 4th of July, while Musk calls for a new political party representing the 80% in the middle. Meanwhile, activists gathered outside a Tesla store in New York City on Saturday to protest former Dodge chief and billionaire Elon Musk, as well as US President Donald Trump, over funding cuts, particularly those affecting HIV prevention and marginalized communities. Trump froze many foreign aid programs early in his presidency before reinstating some life-saving assistance, including parts of the United States President's emergency plan for AIDS relief, its global HIV initiative. The PEPFAR funding also supported NGO-run clinics that have now been closed. Trump named Musk to head an effort to downsize the federal workforce and slash the spending. Now, Musk cut only about half of 1% of the total spending, far short of his brash plans to axe $2 trillion from the federal budget. Moving on, Colombia's President Gustavo Petro said on Saturday night that no hypothesis would be ruled out in the investigation into the shooting of Colombian Senator Miguel Uribe, a potential presidential contender. The 39-year-old senator, who was shot during a campaign event as part of his run for the presidency in 2026, is a member of the opposition Conservative Democratic Center Party, founded by former Colombian President Alvaro Uribe. The two men are not related. Suspect had been arrested in the shooting and that the authorities were investigating whether others were involved or not. The government later revealed that the person arrested was a minor. The party described the attack as a serious one but did not disclose further details on Uribe's condition.
Ahora no hay más que hipótesis y las hipótesis no pueden ser descartadas de antemano porque viciamos la ciencia, la investigación. Como que un dirigente político de Colombia, no importa su posición, su color de camiseta, su pensamiento, haya sido víctima de un intento de asesinato que ojalá no prospere. Y el Estado todo de Colombia se pone al servicio de la vida.
Uribe, who is not yet an official presidential candidate for his party, comes from a prominent family in Colombia. His father was a businessman and a union leader. His mother is a journalist, Diana Turpe. She was kidnapped in 1990 by an armed group under the command of the late cartel leader Pablo Escobar. She was killed during a rescue operation back in the year 1991. Now, an overnight Ukrainian drone attack sparked a short-lived fire at the Azot chemical plant and injured 2 people in Russia's region. The fire was extinguished. Governor Dmitry Milayev informed that there is no threat to the air quality near the plant, but environmental monitoring will continue. Meanwhile, Russia launched an intense missile and drone barrage at the Ukrainian capital Kyiv on Friday, saying the strike on military and military-related targets was in response to what it called Ukrainian terrorist acts against Russia. It also attacked the eastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv at night and in the evening with drones, missiles and guided bombs. One of Ukraine's largest cities, Kharkiv, is located just a few dozen kilometers from the Russian border and has been under constant Russian shelling during more than 3 years of conflict. The Ukrainian military said Russia launched 206 drones, 2 ballistic and 7 other missiles against Ukraine overnight. While the United States believes that Russian President Vladimir Putin's threatened retaliation against Ukraine over its drone attack last weekend has not happened yet in earnest and is likely to be a significant multi-pronged strike. Senior US officials said that though the timing of the full Russian response was unclear, but it was expected within days. A second retaliation was likely to include different kinds of air capabilities, including missiles and drones. The Russian and Ukrainian embassies in Washington and the White House are yet to respond on this. Moving on, the United Nations Ocean Conference is all set to open its doors in France's Nice on Monday. Co-hosted by France and Costa Rica, 5-day UNOC3 aims at accelerating action on protecting the world's oceans. The conference aims to accelerate action and mobilize all actors to conserve and sustainably use the ocean, focusing on key themes like restoring marine ecosystems, reducing pollution, and promoting ocean-based scientific cooperation. Now, oceans cover over 70% of the Earth's surface and is a major regulator of major environmental balance, a provider of vast resources and biodiversity, an important enabler of trade, and an essential link between countries and human communities. Protecting the oceans means protecting an immense carbon sink and unimaginable biodiversity reserves. Thus, the conference will seek to support the implementation of Sustainable Development Goal number 14 on the marine environment, with focus on completion of multilateral processes linked to the oceans, mobilizing sources of finance, and strengthening and better disseminating the knowledge. And ahead of the significant conference, activists and organizations are holding protests in Nice demanding better protection for the world's oceans and marine wildlife. Hundreds of protesters held blue walk along the Nice famed Promenade des Alcaraz on Saturday, raising voices for the preservation of the oceans. Wearing blue and white color cloths, the participants held banners saying "Protect the ocean, protect life, and don't touch my bottom." Some were seen wearing hats with coral shapes, while others dressed as sharks held banners with signs saying "Forced labor." The protesters with their blue walk denounced activities such as bottom trawling, which is a method of fishing where a cone-shaped net is dragged along the sea floor to catch marine life. Now, it's a very destructive practice that can significantly impact the seabed and surrounding ecosystem as well. Around 1,000 people belonging to the European Platform Seas at Risk NGO also held a march at Promenade, calling for stronger protection of marine environments. The NGO, which unites 35 ocean advocacy groups, held peaceful blue march behind the banner reading "Protecting the ocean, protect life." And at the conference, India is being represented by Dr. Jitendra Singh as the head of the high-level delegation who has reached Nice. India's participation in this international meet marks a significant futuristic step by the Government of India, as it would reiterate Prime Minister Narendra Modi's commitment to India's global engagement on ocean sustainability and marine cooperation. We are heading for a short break, but still to come on the other side. Up next, we'll get you all the latest on India's global outreach on Operation Sindoor. Internet services suspended in 5 districts of Manipur. Stay tuned to know why. And after the break, we'll give you interesting and refreshing visuals of yellow rhododendrons that have started to bloom in the highlands of Turkey.
Our world has been facing challenges that have pushed us to the extremes. But every challenge is an opportunity that makes us rethink, rebuild, and become more resilient.
There is a weed called Lantana camara in the forest, which has been destroying the entire ecosystem. So we collaborate with indigenous people to remove this weed and convert it into briquettes.
Once you have per square kilometer accurate data, citizen groups, they will start mobilizing actions, will have an ability to focus on specific parts where the problem is.
We are currently working on a project that could protect people. This project aims to create artificial mini albufueras.
Welcome back. After that short break, you're watching DD India Live. Now, India's all-party delegation led by BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad returned this morning after successfully conveying India's unwavering resolve to fight against terrorism across France, Italy, Denmark, England, Brussels and Germany.
हर जगह संसद के वरिष्ठ लोग, मंत्रीगण, थिंक टैंक, मीडिया और भारतीय कम्युनिटी से बातचीत हुई। मुझे एक बात की प्रसन्नता है कि भारत के प्रति पहलगाम के बर्बर आतंकवाद के खिलाफ बहुत गुस्सा है देशों में, और सबों ने कंडेम किया। हम लोग यूरोपियन पार्लियामेंट में भी गए और हर जगह एक स्वर से इसकी आलोचना हुई, और भारतीय जो थे वो तो बहुत उत्साहित थे हम लोग से मिलकर करके। यूरोप और भारत के बीच एक नए संबंधों की शुरुआत होने वाली है। भारत का आर्थिक विकास जो है दुनिया की चौथी बड़ी इकोनॉमी हो गई है, इससे वो बहुत इम्प्रेस्ड हैं। भारत की डिजिटल उपलब्धि से बहुत वो प्रभावित है। तो जर्मनी के साथ, ईयू के साथ भारत के नए संबंधों की शुरुआत होगी।
In the last leg of their six-nation visit, team engaged in Germany, where on Saturday the team interacted with the leaders and key representatives of the Indian community in Berlin. The event began with the participants observing a 2-minute silence in solemn tribute to the victims and pledging to stand united against the scourge of terrorism. The Indian community in Berlin displayed immense enthusiasm, drawing inspiration from India's growth story and its unwavering stand against terrorism under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Ravi Shankar Prasad termed the visit to Germany as highly successful, saying across the 6 countries they visited, they received great respect and India's concerns were given a hearing. Earlier, the team engaged with key members of the German Bundestag as well as prominent German think tanks. They underscored India's stand on zero tolerance for terrorism. The members conveyed that India's response to the Pahalgam terrorist attack was precise, measured and non-escalatory. Additionally, they articulated India's unequivocal position that no distinction can be made between terrorists and those who support or shelter them. While the team led by Shashi Tharoor continued to engage in the US, the delegation paid homage to Mahatma Gandhi at his statue opposite the embassy in Washington, D.C. Writing on social media platform X, Tharoor highlighted how many world capitals are adorned with statues or busts of Mahatma Gandhi, the 20th century's greatest apostle of peace, non-violence and human freedom. Earlier, Tharoor spent his final afternoon in Washington giving interviews to the various newspapers, during which he underscored the part of the objectives of the trip was to get India's story out in the national media of the countries they were visiting. He expressed delight that similar thing has been happening in Colombia and Panama as well. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will visit France, European Union and Belgium from the 8th till the 14th of June, strengthening bilateral and multilateral ties, the Ministry of External Affairs confirmed. In France, he will co-chair the India-France Strategic Dialogue and meet French officials to deepen cooperation in defence and trade sector. In Brussels, Dr. S. Jaishankar will engage with European Union leaders on economic partnership and climate initiatives. In Belgium, discussions will focus on technology and innovation. The visit aims at advancing India's strategic interests amid global geopolitical shifts, building on recent high-level engagements. UK's Foreign Secretary David Lammy concluded day 1 of his India visit meeting Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal. Both the leaders held a fruitful meeting expressing appreciation towards the work done in finalising the historic India-UK FTA, which is poised to give further boost to the growing ties. The two sides further discussed avenues to deepen bilateral trade and strengthen collaboration across various sectors to unlock the full potential of comprehensive strategic partnership. Now, the 17th edition of the Joint Military Exercise Nomadic Elephant 2025 between India and Mongolia is currently underway at the Special Forces Training Center in Ulaanbaatar. Focused on the conduct of non-conventional operations in semi-urban and mountainous terrain under a United Nations mandate, the exercise aims at enhancing the operational capabilities of both the forces. The participating contingents are actively exchanging best practices in counter-terrorism operations and precision sniping, thereby improving interoperability. Now, through joint drills, both the forces are working to strengthen their ability to respond effectively to contemporary security challenges. Now, this joint exercise reflects the growing defense cooperation between India and Mongolia. A key feature of the exercise includes simulated UN peacekeeping operations designed to mirror real-world scenarios where multinational forces must collaborate efficiently in diverse and challenging conditions. The exercise also lays emphasis on key lessons likely to emerge in order to improve future joint operations. Now, this collaboration not only boosts the defense capabilities of India and Mongolia, but also reaffirms their shared commitment to promoting peace, security and stability in the region. Update from India's northeastern state of Manipur now. After violent protests on the streets of Imphal on Saturday night, internet and mobile data services have been suspended in 5 key districts for 5 days, effective from 23:45 Indian Standard Time hours. Internet suspended in Imphal West, Imphal East, Thopol, Kakching and Bishnupur. Curfew has also been imposed in Bishnupur till further orders. The directives came after protests broke out against the arrest of a leader of Maite volunteer group Arambai Tingol or AT. The authorities fear that some antisocial elements might use social media extensively for transmission of images, hate speech and hate video messages inciting the passions of the public, which might have serious repercussions for the law and order situation. As per the official directive, the order was passed ex parte in view of the emergent situation. It also noted that strict action will be taken against violators of the order. Besides, the authorities have appealed to the general public to maintain peace and not to believe in rumours. Weather updates now. The flood situation in Assam improved marginally as the major rivers including Brahmaputra showed a receding trend due to decreased levels of rains in the past few days, and none of the rivers are flowing above the danger level. Two districts, Kamrup and Darang, were affected by the landslides. The Indian Weather Department issued yellow alert for Tripura, Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur, Assam and Meghalaya. Two landslides were reported from Dima Hasao and Kamrup on Saturday, and a person has been reported dead, taking the death toll to 17 this year in floods. Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma on Friday visited the Barak Valley for the second time in a week, and a short timely rehabilitation grants to the people and that damaged infrastructure like roads will be repaired before Durga Puja festivities. None of the rivers are flowing above the danger level. The SDRF, DDRF, inland and water transport, fire and emergency services, along with local administration officers, are on carrying out relief and rehabilitation measures. Moving on, the NDA government at the centre completes 11 years in office under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. Good governance has impacted lives and improved the status of the Indian economy. Highlighting the NDA government's efforts to redefine women-led development in the last 11 years, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday said that various government initiatives are intended to empower the country's Nari Shakti. In a post on X, Prime Minister Modi said that women are excelling and inspiring several people in all the sectors, including science, education, sports, startups and the armed forces. Various initiatives from ensuring dignity through Swachh Bharat to financial inclusion via Jan Dhan accounts, the focus has been on empowering Nari Shakti. Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted the key schemes launched by the government such as Ujjwala Yojana and Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme. Mudra loan scheme enabled lakhs of women entrepreneurs to pursue their dreams on their own terms. Houses under the women's name in PM Awas Yojana too have made a remarkable impact. Beti Bachao Beti Padhao also ignited a national movement to protect girl child. While in another social media post, Commerce and Industry Minister Dr. Piyush Goyal said 11 years ago, the lives of women were engulfed in smoke and darkness. It was as if they were unaware of the world beyond household. But after 2014, the Modi government brought them out of that plight and provided them a self-respecting life through various initiatives. Now, another feather in the cap of the central government is the success of Jal Jeevan Mission. It refers to bringing tap water to each and every household. Government successfully provided tap water connections to over 15 crore rural households across India. Launched in the year 2019 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the mission is fundamentally changing lives in villages by ensuring access to clean, safe drinking water right at every doorstep. The initiative, which aims at providing water to every household, has rapidly expanded across the country, reaching even the most remotest of regions. With a focus on community involvement, sustainability and technology, the Jal Jeevan Mission is not just about infrastructure, but about women empowerment and empowerment in rural areas too. You're watching DD India Live, and now it's time to get you all the latest from the world of sports. To begin with tennis first, Coco Gauff has won the French Open women's singles title. American Coco Gauff beat world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka by 6-7, 6-2, 6-4 to win the coveted title on Saturday. Now, this was world number 2 Coco Gauff's second Grand Slam title and a first on clay surface. Gauff battled back from a set down to beat Sabalenka for the second time. She had also defeated Sabalenka in 2023 to win the US Open. The 21 years old Coco Gauff became the first American woman to capture the singles title since Serena Williams in 2015 and the youngest from the United States to achieve the feat. And world number 1 Yannick Sinner faces defending champion Carlos Alcaraz in 2025 French Open men's final on Sunday. Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champion, advanced after Lorenzo Musetti retired due to injury during their semi-final clash. Meanwhile, world number 1 Yannick Sinner showcased dominance, defeating Novak Djokovic in straight sets, ending the Serb's quest for a 25th Grand Slam. Now, for the first time in Grand Slam history, two players born in the 2000s will contest the final, signaling a new era in tennis. Moving on, the yellow rhododendrons has started to bloom in the highlands of Turkey. The short-lived flower, known locally as the Yabu flower, attracts nature lovers and photography enthusiasts to the region. Let's bring you the very soothing visuals straight from Turkey. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.